If you want more FIFA content from me, I'm now uploading exclusive videos to Patreon. The link for that is down below. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com. And of course, you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review. Before we kick off with Foot Birthday, although you may be watching this while Foot Birthday has just been released or released a while ago, I thought it would be a nice time to probably get the last Team of the Week moments player review out. I say that. I do actually want to use a few others, Funes Mori being one of them. But Coman is a card that I'm sure a lot of people will be looking at. There are a lot of good buy-in players out there, a lot of good Bundesliga cards that you can link him in with, you know, player moments, Kimmich being one of them. And then there's a flashback Boateng out there, as well as Alaba's Team of the Week moments card from last week. So there's definitely a nice sort of left-hand side you can create. And of course, Lewandowski's got an array of good cards as well. So a lot of good players you can link in with Coman. That being said, I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at him because his price right now is quite high, and I think it's more down to links than anything else. He does have a better version on the market, which of course is a UCL Live card. Now, I'm not really sure what's going to, I'm sure no one is, what's going to happen to that card, because obviously the Champions League was in the middle of play and everything was stopped. So I don't really know if that's going to see a resolution and whether he'll have more upgrades or what have you. But this is 2 overall lower, so 2 informs lower, which is a little bit irritating, but does hold a 60 to 70,000 coin price tag right now, which is still quite high considering the card stats aren't amazing. I mean, they're good, but I don't think this card is sort of up there with some of the other cards you can get for about 70, 80,000 coins, and even some of the Foot Birthday cards that are bound to come out. With that being said, though, we'll go through his stats. 96 acceleration, 92 sprint speed is a very good start. Good agility at 90. Those are the only 90 rated stats to speak of. I'm not going to bash the card all the way through. It's just something that I'm pointing out here. No other stat on the card is 90. You've got a lot of sort of low to mid 80 stats across the board, really. I mean, 86 balance, 85 reactions, 89 ball control and dribbling, which is really good. I mean, that's the closest to 90 you can get, obviously. That's a really nice set of dribbling stats across the board. Composure, not going to read into it. It's 77, but I don't really care about that. I just don't believe it exists, really. 3-star weak foot, which isn't amazing. That is going to be a big sticking point for a lot of people, I'm sure. Good positioning, 87, finishing's 80, shot power's 84. You get the idea. He's one of those cards that has really good dribbling and pace, and then everything else sort of just falls away. His stamina is something I want to mention. The team I used is on screen right now. The stamina, unfortunately, is only 73, combined with 68 strength and just terrible physicals across the board, really. In fact, his physical stats are 64 combined, which is not good. Not combined, but you know what I mean, the average of. Not great. However, all that aside, let's have a little look at him in game and see what we think, right? So his agility, dribbling, ball control and all the rest of it is displayed there with that turn and the ability to beat the defender as well, because he had enough pace to get from I don't know, maybe a yard back off the defender. He had enough pace to get back, beat the defender, get the ball, do a turn, and then put the ball in the back of the net with his weak foot, I might add. So he's not completely useless already, we've seen just from the first clip, and as we move on you'll see a lot of hit and miss, you know, like he'll do a lot of good things and then his end product just isn't that great. And that's the annoying thing about Coman. Yeah, we've scored a lot of goals with him, and yeah, he's managed to beat a lot of defenders in terms of pace and things, but taking nothing away from this card in terms of his dribbling and his pace and his just ability to beat people on the turn especially, his end product is so disappointing. Even with a chem style, this guy really does struggle in front of goal sometimes. And that might be down to my decision making. I'm fully aware that I'm not the best FIFA player in the world. But you're watching my video, so you must hold my opinion in some sort of regard. Or you're half asleep and the video is played on the recommended and you can't be bothered to turn it off, and in which case I appreciate you still being here considering we're 4 minutes into the video. Coman is really good at doing things like that. He manages to bundle his way through people, he gets the ball back, manages to get into a good position, then he shoots, and then it's literally a lottery as to whether he will beat the goalkeeper or not. He has 84 shot power, which may sound okay, and for the most part it's not terrible. However, I reviewed Makis earlier. Now, I may be mispronouncing that. That's the 84 rated Granada striker, right? He has 96 shot power, and you can tell instantly the difference between a player with brilliant shot power and not so brilliant shot power. In that sense, what I mean is, if Coman hits the target, what tends to happen is that if it's a poor shot because he's only got 80 finishing, the goalkeeper will more than likely make a save. If Makis takes a shot with, okay, slightly better finishing, I grant you, but still, with excellent shot power, doesn't matter if the shot is poorly placed, because the shot power will carry it home and probably beat the goalkeeper for reactions. Unfortunately, Coman doesn't have that in his locker. I'm not going to bash the card too much because I really do like the left stick dribble on the card. He's got 4-star skills, and when he does hit the target, he can cause a lot of problems. You know, it's not a terrible card in the sense of, oh, every time you through on goal, it's 50-50 as to whether he's actually going to score or not. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he's a little bit more inconsistent than what I'd like him to be. But as you can see, there, in that situation, that's a bit of a 50-50. But then in the previous clip, near post obviously being overpowered as it is. Lovely little flick there. Gets in on goal, and he scores. So it's one of those situations where, so long as you're taking sensible shots and not risking it in front of goal, you should be fine. But if you're taking sort of finesses that are a little bit off balance or from a position where you wouldn't normally score, then you'll be sort of rolling the dice, if you will. Now, I've firmly placed Coman inside of a Class 3, and in the top left, for the first time, I think I might change it because it doesn't look that tidy. What I've done is I've given you a little bit of a breakdown of the classes. I have to explain it every video because I know there are going to be a lot of people out there who don't watch every single video that I do, don't understand the class system. I don't know if any other YouTuber who does player reviews has some sort of class system. Maybe I don't know. I like to... I don't think it's fair to review every card and compare them, because you can't compare Coman to Messi. It's just not fair on Coman. And it doesn't make any sense to say, oh, well, yeah, he's good, but, you know, Messi's a 100 player. Coman is therefore, compared to him, he's probably like a 60 player. You know, it just doesn't make any sense, because people will look at that and go, what, you're giving him 65? That's harsh. No. You've got to separate and differentiate between the players, right? So Class 1 is a top tier. That's the Messis and the Team of the Year cards and all the rest of it. Class 2 are competitive players that I would say are, you know, in contention for playing in FUT Champs. That's not necessarily me saying that every Class 2 player is capable of playing in FUT Champs, but what I'm saying is that they should be, based on what they are on paper. Coman is a Class 3 player. What I mean by that is he can still be usable, and he can still be fun to use, but his stats don't necessarily scream, put me in your FUT Champs team. You know what I mean? That rhymed. I enjoyed that. And of course, Class 4 players looking at the stats are, no, this is going to be a terrible card. Doesn't mean to say that a Class 4 player is not going to be fun to use. But just when you look at the stats on paper, you're like, oh dear, this isn't going to go very well. Now, in terms of the cons, we've been through a lot of them. The weak foot, obviously annoying. The passing, we haven't actually mentioned that, but is low passing for a midfielder. Even though I've used him more as a striker, but still, low passing can be a problem. His strength is so hit and miss. It's really confusing. So, if you're side by side with someone, chances are he's got enough left stick dribble ability, skill moves, and pace to beat that player. If you run at someone and you don't get the skill move right, you don't get the dribble right, and you end up clashing with that defender, forget about it, you've lost. There's absolutely no chance he's going to win that battle. If you're ahead of the defender when you start running, chances are he's not going to get caught. Even if someone's tugging his shirt, he's that quick, you should be fine. So strength is a case of running into people, you're not going to win that battle. Side by side, if they get a grip of you and you can't get away from them, even using left stick dribble, you've lost it because he just has 68 strength. It's abysmal. But chances are he's quick enough and he's got that dribbling ability to worm his way out of the situation. Obviously, it depends how good you are at the game. His stamina is the biggest underlining problem. At 73, it's just not good enough. As a super sub, sure, this isn't a problem. But starting 11, which I'm sure a lot of you will look to put this guy because, of course, that player of the moment's Kimmich, Boateng, so on and so forth. Those cards you're going to want to link in. You're going to have a good super sub on the bench because this card is not going to last you past the 60, 70th minute mark, unfortunately. But enough about the negatives. This card is actually fun to use, and despite the amount that it seems that I've bashed him, I did actually enjoy this card, and I think that it is a fun card to use if you're a Bayern player, or fan rather, not player. If you're Lewandowski watching this, you've got too much time on your hands, mate. Get back to training. However, if you're a Bayern fan, I can definitely understand why you would want to pick this card up. He's very quick, he's got insane agility, his dribbling is very, very good, his ball control alike, defensive work rate is class because it's low, which means he won't try and track back, his positioning therefore is brilliant. It is actually a fun card to use. However, it's just not a competitive card. His finishing, just 1 point to finish on. His finishing, I just want to reiterate this, it's good so long as you use sensible shots, especially with the Deadeye Chem style. If you use sensible shots and you're rolling it past the goalkeeper, you're not trying to hit them from 40 yards on the volley, you'll be fine. If you have found this informative and you've enjoyed it, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index, the game changed. Download the app now.